What's good, Hotep? Good morning, everybody. I apologize. I'm sorry I'm late. This is part 4 of Soulmates and the science of creating soulmates. I was supposed to have this out yesterday, but I had a lot of running around. I had a lot on my plate yesterday and got tired on y'all. So I had to chill for a little while after we got back. But the science of creating soulmates, just for a recap, in creating soulmates, I guess you want to say it's an abundance of what you are. God puts in to your soulmate, who we call our better half, our spouse, our husband, our wife, or whatever, in an intimate or romantic relationship. It's pieces of the dream from within ourselves, and it's not always good. Now, what most people think of, I imagine, in terms of when they say they want to find a soulmate, they would like to find a soulmate and spend their life or eternity with their soulmate. They're thinking of all the good things, all the good attributes of another person: husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. But it's more to it than that. As I explained in part 3, and probably touched on it in part 1 and 2, a soulmate is somebody that you attract based on what you have on the inside of yourself. My recommendation, long story short, and this is the easy fast track. This is what I did, but what I did, and I've been working on it for a while, for some years, several years. This is what I do. I'm still working. So, and the type of people that I attract is a lot different than what I used to attract and be around. From Cleveland to Atlanta. It's going to follow you wherever you go, in one form or another. That part of it might not have hit you or followed you yet, or caught up to you. But something else you might have slipped on or been sleeping on for some time. Like your temper or your jealousy. You might have got, for instance, your anger in check, for example. But your temper or your patience might be lacking still. Or you might still lie a lot. And you can't really be categorized as a liar, a full-fledged liar, if you tell a lie every now and then. That's bound to happen, more than likely. But what you can do is curtail your lying, curtail your sinning, and reestablish your oneness with God. How do you do that? This video is more, I'm trying to establish this video more part 4 on the solutions to the problem. How do I attract the type of soulmate that I want instead of what I don't want? It's really simple, and this is what I've been doing. First, you want to be on the inside what you're looking for in the other person and the way they treat you. Loyalty, honesty, trust, truth. A man or woman of God. I don't care what you say or what your religion is or belief system is. You got to have God. the all, the source, Jah, Allah. You understand? You got to have God in there. The universe. You understand? It's only one creator. So whatever your God of understanding is, and not to get off of Christian, not to oh wow, Christianity. I put it to you like God put it to me, and what He told me to tell people I talk to, and especially my children, because you can't make somebody grow up and they grown, because my kids are grown, and make somebody believe what you want to believe. I didn't do it. You know, for the most part, I still was, I'm a student of the gospel of Jesus Christ that's written in red. That's what I adhere to mostly in the Bible. But I also understand a lot of other things and how they work. And the way God put it to me is to lead people in the way in which they believe. Meet them where they at. Meet them where they're at. And He'll catch them from there. If they really trying to find me with a heart of gold, but they confused. They might be dabbling in witchcraft accidentally. I did it. I didn't know it was witchcraft. Astral traveling, leaving your body, you know, while you sleep or meditating. Your consciousness, you know, leaving through your consciousness, allowing your consciousness to leave your body and go elsewhere. Go visit people or go do other things. A lot of y'all know what I've been through as far as that's concerned. Stuff like that, and it's not a secret, not nothing I'm trying to hide anything, but I'm just saying I didn't understand that was witchcraft. You know, I didn't hurt nobody. Unless somebody was trying to hurt me, I had a few run-ins. That's a long story. Talk about that later, and the battles I went through with that. And because even with Satan, you know, Lucifer, whatever you call him, the devil, the real Satan, you know, he's alive. He's a physical being as well. He's on in another dimension, though. However, but and some of his culprits that worship him. You know, I went through that with some people, but other than that, they were trying to hurt me. And that's another story. I'm going to make another video. I'm going to share that with y'all later. But you might be into something, some kind of kooky religion or something crazy that by accident. But see, this is what God told me. He said that if they will, I know where people's hearts are at and what they trying to do. I'm right there with them. I am them. A large percentage of me is in them. The spark of life. Their soul. Put it like that. Their soul. That's me where I dwell. That's where I dwell at. Their soul. Their subconscious. That's where I'm at. Inside all of you. Everybody. I don't care how many people you killed, how many times you cheated on your wife or your husband, how much you don't take care of your children, things like that, how much you lie or how much you steal, He's there working through you. Now, how much He's working through you, that's up to you. He wanted 100%. More than likely, most people, He told me, He's only 30% working through them. Then as you get older, you know, starting off when you're young, as you get older, He attributes more of Himself to you, into you. For instance, you might start off at 30% and then 5 years later end up at 50%. By the time you're 40, you should be able to 65 to 75, 85% God. Like John 10:34, I think it is, John 10, where Jesus told us you have the power to become gods. That's what God wants for us, not the creator. Gods, meaning you can do miracles on your own. You can heal yourself. You won't get sick. Once you get, he wants us to be 100% God, and he does it working through you. All you got to do, all we have to do, is obey the rules, the guidelines, the instructions that he set out. You know, you have to be submissive to do that and humble. But the guidelines, the instructions to tell us how to do that, how to become God again, since we fell from grace. He wants us to do it. We're on punishment. We're on timeout, so to speak. We're learning. It's a school. Put it like that. It's a school. We're learning how to get back to being gods and goddesses. But if we want to stay, getting drunk, smoking weed, smoking 5, 6, 7, 10 blunts a day, smoking cigarettes in miles, I'm not trying to knock you. I did it too. I just quit. I wasn't smoking. I ain't never smoked that much though. But still, the Bible says it's okay to drink. However, it also states that it is a sin once you get intoxicated. What is intoxication? I might be getting off course, but I'm going to finish this up and get right back to my point on how you attract what you want rather than what you don't want. When do you know you're intoxicated? He explained it to me like this. The Most High God, our Creator. He explained it to me like this. And this is not prophetic. This is just sharing inspiration to God. When your thinking starts to change while you're in the process of drinking, socializing, sipping, partying. In other words, your thinking starts to get darker rather than more light. Most people get cheerful and happy, a lot of people. But even in doing so, sometimes, I told you I used to drink, so I know. Sometimes your thoughts can get a little dark. They may be sexual thoughts. They may be over flirtatious thoughts, and you might be married or committed to somebody, or violent, or angry, or impatient, or controlling, or aggressive. These are signs of intoxication. So that means that depending on what size and weight you are, after about a glass or a glass and a half, for most people, I would say, it only takes about a glass or a glass and a half before you start becoming intoxicated, in other words. Not 2 glasses. I know what Dr. Oz says and everything. I'm telling you what God, the greatest psychologist, psychiatrist, doctor, creator, who created, and you know what I'm saying, this system. What he said. He said a glass and a half. Now maybe he said a glass and a half because he works through Dr. Oz as well. Maybe he's telling me a glass and a half so that we don't, you know, because if he tells you 2 glasses, all 3 won't hurt. But I'm trying to tell you, once you start, your thinking starts, not once you start acting crazy, once your thinking, because you got to think before you act, once your thinking starts changing. Becoming arrogant, cocky, wanting to fight, aggressive, lying, over flirting and you married, flirting period and you married, or over flirting and you single, doing things you wouldn't normally do, thinking thoughts you only think when you drink. It happens to everybody because what it does is open up certain access to the spirit realm. and you start vibrating lower heaven because you got lower vibrating thoughts. Your consciousness, your mind, which is a spiritual aspect of ourselves, starts to vibrate on a lower level. And some of us on a beastly level. The slower the vibration, the more dense our thoughts become. Our thoughts create things when we think them, when they go back out into the atmosphere. They form things. We form our lives. We attract things through our thoughts. Our thoughts are physical. They just vibrate on in another dimension. I'm not going to get into that right now, but they vibrate and create on another dimension. And then they manifest physically later on in our lives. Sometimes I had things manifest in a day or two. One time I got like 3 jobs. I did the meditation. I learned that from Dr. Wayne Dyer maybe 20, 25 years ago. And one day I needed a job real bad. I was in Atlanta, living in Atlanta still. And I had moved to Atlanta from Cleveland. And I did my little meditation, and I put every emotion I possibly could. The dire desire for that intention into the meditation. The next day I got 3 jobs. Honestly, I had to choose from one because one was 10 hours. I couldn't work all of them. I just happy to get one. And that pretty much saved my world. So, our thoughts become things. We manifest things. We attract things from our thinking. So, anyway, when we drinking, when we intoxicated, we start operating on a more denser thought level and vibratory level. And that's when we need to cut it off. So in the Bible, it is not a sin to drink wine. It is a sin, however, to drink strong drinks, whether that's a vodka, whiskey, or whatever, them straight shots, stuff like that. He didn't tell me about the beer yet. I assume beer is okay. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not the creator. I know what some people say, but if he didn't tell you that, I'm not about to speak that to you. But I assume beer is not a strong drink. Some stuff is common sense. You understand what I'm saying? Some stuff is common sense. If you use the bathroom, you don't have to, nobody have to tell you to wipe yourself when you use the bathroom. I hate to use that analogy, but that's the truth. If your nose is running, nobody has to tell you to blow or wipe your nose. Should nobody have to tell you, to wash up. You know what I'm saying? Before you go to work or go about your day. Some stuff is common sense, but even some of those things are probably in the Bible. Now back to that's for intoxication, and why he doesn't want us. Wine bibbing is a sin as well as being intoxicated or drunk or drinking strong drinks. It does, however, permit you to drink strong drinks. If you're in war, or you might be in war at your house, going through some chemo, cancer, some kind of sickness. It allows for you to drink strong drinks to take away your pain. He didn't tell me about the weed, but the weed is legal, and it is legal by man's law. In the Bible, it instructs us to follow the law of the land. That don't mean you have to smoke weed or you have to smoke cigarettes, because that's legal too. So that don't make it right because it's legal. So what I would do, I would talk to God about that. Because he does show favor to people, certain people, depending on in certain situations. In certain situations. That's between you and God. And he does do that very often. And more than likely, you're not the only one. If he tells you to go about freeing your pain up or your mind this way, you know what I'm saying? You got to trust God. First you got to trust him though, that he's guiding you the right way, and it's not Satan. My sheep shall know my voice, he said. Okay. I hope if you got any questions, please ask me. Comment, ask me anything you want to ask me. I prefer you to drop them on Patreon in the comments. You can inbox me if you want to. But if you got any questions, I can, you think I can clear up for you, just drop me an inbox, drop me a DM, or in the comments. That's what I recommend. But you can't always DM me. I don't mind. Ask me what you need to ask me. That's what he gave me to share with you all in terms of attracting your soulmate. Righteous, loyal, beautiful on the inside and out, honest, faithful, all that good stuff. Kind, compassionate, loving, caring. You got to do that on the inside first. You do that on the inside. Watch what I'm talking about starting today. Now, I can't guarantee you when God is going to move, because we've been living like we wanted to for the longest. For some people, some stuff is going to happen immediately. And it already has, more than likely, because that's why you're still here and listening. And that's God that has you here, because he wants you to receive something. But first, he has to put it in your consciousness that it's possible from whoever you get it from. That these things from the Bible is where he preferred you to get it from, but everybody does not prefer to look through the Bible and the gospel where Jesus, in red, where Jesus taught, and in various other places in the Bible. But you want to start on yourself, a giving person. You might like gifts or people to show you love and kindness by the way they treat you and stuff like that. Sometimes he'll send people to you, like I keep telling you all, to ask you for favors. That don't mean that, but the Bible does, that don't mean that people abuse you and use you, but the Bible does say if somebody robs you, is trying to rob you, just give them your coat. If somebody, and they come back to rob you again, or give it to them again. That's what the Bible says, and you got to forgive them 70 times, 70 times. 70 times 7. That's what the Bible illustrates, which means it's unconditional. You continue to forgive them. Now, what he does suggest is that you don't keep yourself in certain type of situations if you're getting beaten or physically attacked or threatened. Once again, that's common sense. But you can forgive them. You can leave and forgive them if you can get away. But in terms of attracting that which you want, write a list down of what you want. This is what I would do. And pin it on your wall. Put it in your notepad in your phone. Something like that. Or OneNote, if for those of you that might have OneNote on an Android or whatever, or on your notepad in your iPhone. And pin it to your wall. Put it in your journal or your diary. But first, you want to be what you want to attract. And I would write it down first. And everything on that list first I would be it on the inside. I just go around giving people stuff. When I go places, man, I don't care who I'm with or riding with, or if I'm driving and we going in the store, the gas station, and somebody asks me for some money, I just give it to them. $1, 50 cents, 5, 10, sometimes $50. It depends on what I got on me in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? If I don't have any change or cash on me, I can't help them unless I got something in the car. You know what I'm saying? I give them whatever I got. You know, I don't care what you going to buy. That's not my business. I'm going to let God. I did one of my part because I'm trying to do, I'm also not just, you know, trying to help you, but I'm doing something in here. I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to pile on stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks in my soul. Stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks of kindness, of meekness, of love, of humility, of honesty. I don't want to attract no liars. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying? You know how that is. I have done that because I used to lie. He told me how things work. So anyway, I hope that helped you for this first part. We're going to pause it here. I want y'all to come back because I got some wonderful information for y'all. He asked me to share with you. This is going to be life-changing. Well, that's life-changing too right there. But this is going to be profound. Some things he wants to share that it's going to be our first time in our lifetime hearing some of the stuff. I don't know exactly what it is. Sometimes he loves to surprise people. Sometimes he'll work through people, other people to surprise you, but it's him. He works through people. You all know that much. But he has some stuff he wants to share, and it's monumental, and it's things that in this lifetime we have yet to get this kind of good news, and he want to share it. I pretty much think I know what it's going to be, but you never know with the Most High God, with Dad. It's some of the stuff he has shared with me. I have not yet shared with you because you know, he wants to do it in his timing, like he does everything else, like he did with me. He shared certain things with other people before he shared it with me. You end up in a certain place for a certain reason. He guided us here all together for a reason, based on your previous works. So that's what's going on, and that's the only way this works. And more than likely, well, I know what he's doing. He trains people. He has people train congregation or a bunch of other people so they can go out and do the same thing. Whether it's, you don't have to go on YouTube, but you can do it at work. You can do it at home with your children, your family, your friends. And maybe they'll do it on YouTube or on TV. You understand? Or maybe they'll start them a temple or a church, a synagogue, a mosque. You understand? But we gonna cut it right here. And I want y'all to be on the lookout for the second part of this series right here. The law of attraction and consciousness and soulmates, part 4, the continuation. We go mash all that stuff in together and try to round it up. Trying to finish it off with this next part. So y'all be on the lookout. All right.